PIP's NAV per share grew by 22.1% during the 6 months to 30th of November 2021, and net assets stood at £2.3 billion at the end of the period. This strong performance was driven by significant valuation gains in the companies in PIP's portfolio and was broadly achieved across all types, stages and regions. PIP's share price grew by 17.6% during the period. This compares to a return of 6.1% from the MSCI World Index and 1.9% from the FTSE All-Share. Since PIP was launched in 1987, both its NAV and share price have significantly outperformed both of these indices. Disappointingly, in line with the wider listed private equity sector, PIP shares continue to trade at a discount to NAV. A number of marketing initiatives are underway to promote the positive features of private equity, and we are also focused on increasing the profile of PIP and broadening its appeal to a wide range of investors, including regular savers and those who may wish to invest smaller amounts. At the AGM, shareholders approved a split of each of PIP's shares into 10, and this took effect from the 1st of November 2021.
PIP's actively managed and well-diversified portfolio gives shareholders access to the breadth of the private equity universe and to companies at different stages of growth. I am happy to report that during the half year, we saw strong performance across the whole of the portfolio, with underlying portfolio returns of 19.7% prior to foreign exchange effects. Venture, buyout, and growth performed particularly well, and this was driven by valuation increases and strong exit activity in portfolio companies that span several sectors, such as information technology, healthcare, industrials, and financial services. The way our private equity managers position their investments for exit form an important part of Pantheon's due diligence process. Managers in PIP's portfolio can time their exits and are not overly dependent on the IPO market. In fact, recent exit activity has centered on sales to strategic buyers who are implementing their M&A strategies, and to other private equity managers who are there to support companies in their next stages of growth. PIP reported a cost multiple on a sample of exit realizations of 3.3 times during the period. Another indication of embedded value in PIP's portfolio is the uplifts that our private equity managers achieve when they sell their portfolio companies. Since we started measuring this in 2011, PIP has consistently delivered double-digit uplifts, and the 6 months to 30th November 2021 was no exception, with PIP reporting a weighted average uplift of 43%.
PIP's flexible investment approach means it can adjust allocations to different deal types according to where it sees opportunities. It also means that PIP has been able to increase its investment deal pacing to take advantage of the compelling opportunities that it sees in its full deal pipeline. In terms of co-investments, our extensive due diligence process means that every co-investment effectively goes through a double filter. First of all, the private equity manager that we've already conducted considerable due diligence on, and then also the individual deal opportunity. As for secondaries, our deal pipeline continues to be very full, and in fact the secondaries market hit a record high in 2021. Single asset secondaries are a fast-growing part of the secondary market. Typically, these are highly prized companies which the private equity manager believes offers considerable potential for further significant growth, but they might require more time or additional capital in order to fulfill that potential. Pantheon has already been able to source compelling opportunities for PIP through this highly specialised part of the secondary market, through its vast network of relationships that have been built up over almost 40 years. PIP has now committed a total of $225 million to the Pantheon Secondary Opportunities Fund, allowing it to access these high-quality assets on favourable terms. This shift towards co-investment and single asset secondaries will increase the concentration in PIP's portfolio, while at the same time mitigating the risk through diversification. Altogether, PIP committed £264 million to 37 new investments during the half year.
The presence of Pantheon's investment teams of 116 investment professionals around the world means that PIP truly offers a one-stop shop to shareholders to access a wide range of exciting companies on a global basis.
Before the COVID-19 pandemic, many of the private equity managers in PIP's portfolio had been using their considerable sector expertise to invest in the more resilient sectors such as information technology, healthcare products and services, and consumer staples and services. And they'd already identified many trends that had been present in those sectors before the pandemic. Healthcare products and services and businesses applying disruptive technology to multiple different sectors continue to make up a large part of PIP's portfolio, and we believe that these will continue to be attractive areas for investment in the future. We also continue to actively evaluate our private equity managers' approach to investing and managing their portfolio companies responsibly. Please visit PIP's website for case studies on the different types of companies that PIP has invested in across the world.
PIP actively manages its maturity profile through a mix of primaries, secondaries, and co-investments. With an average fund age of 5.1 years, PIP ensures that its portfolio benefits from value creation as well as strong cash generation. The supportive exit environment gave rise to £198 million of distributions during the period, which is equivalent to 24% of the opening portfolio on an annualized basis. Calls amounted to £77 million, or 29% of opening undrawn commitments. This resulted in a net positive cash flow from the portfolio of £121 million. Significant net distributions have resulted in the further strengthening of PIP's balance sheet. The undrawn coverage ratio measures PIP's undrawn commitments of £658 million against the sum of its available financing of £510 million and 10% of the value of its private equity portfolio. PIP's undrawn coverage ratio as at 30 November 2021 was 110%. This is a good indicator of PIP's ability to fund its undrawn commitments even in the event of a market downturn.
PIP's board is diverse and its directors have experience in areas such as private equity, corporate finance, accountancy and PR. It has been announced that Tamara Zakowska will be appointed to the board with effect from the 1st of March 2022. Tamara has an extensive background in a variety of finance and investment roles.
Despite the challenges wrought by the COVID-19 pandemic, global private equity had a highly successful year in 2021 in terms of fundraising, investment activity, and exit activity, and overall posted very robust global performance. This is set to continue with predictions that the global private equity and venture capital market is set to double in size by 2026. Private equity provides access to high-growth sectors which are typically not available on the public markets and offers the opportunity to buy into these fast-growing companies before they IPO, if indeed they go public at all. These characteristics are perhaps why the ongoing trend, which has seen the number of publicly quoted companies reducing over time, whereas the number of privately owned companies has been increasing over time, is set to continue. PIP is well positioned to continue to benefit from these trends and the access it has to some of the highest quality private equity managers in the world. Looking ahead, we expect the strong deal flow to continue, but as we consider the high valuation environment and the threat posed by rising inflation, we will remain highly selective about how we invest on behalf of PIP. Our experience of managing PIP for more than 34 years, during which time it has weathered various economic cycles and outperformed the public market benchmarks, underpins our positive outlook for PIP in the future.
If you have any questions or would like more information on PIP, please visit the website, follow PIP on LinkedIn or contact the team here at Pantheon.